A lot of the things that were taught to us, even in the Christian churches, are responsible for poor people, for black people being poor. And this system is being perpetuated by even a lot of the pastors that we have or we listen to. But there are certain questions I want you to ponder and think of. Now, some of these answers, I've already gotten the answers through deep studies through the Bible and through other texts, historical texts, and so on. But when you just give people information, they do not value it. So if you are serious, if you believe in God, and if you really want to understand why black people are in the situation that they're in, where they are undermined, disrespected, castigated, oppressed, repressed everywhere in the world, you need to really do some studies by yourself. And I'm going to give you some pointers to guide you into the right truth. In the book of Revelation, the first question, first study, read in the book of Revelation chapter 2 verse 9 and chapter 3 verse 9. It basically spoke about certain people that say they are Jews but are not Jews, but are actually from the synagogue of Satan. So I want you to reflect on Revelation chapter 2 verse 9, Revelation chapter 3 verse 9. It is telling us unequivocally that there are certain people on the face of the earth that are saying that they are Jews, but they are not Jews. They are fake Jews. And you need to find out who these people are. Now, if this thing is telling us that there are some people that are saying that they are something and they are not, why is it that people go to church and your pastors never try to identify who these fake Jews are? Why? Check some good internet sources and find out about how the state of Israel, how it was founded. Let me inform you or give you a hint that it was a group of wealthy Jews, wealthy, very rich Jews, guys who owned banks and so on. They were the ones who actually used the political system in England and caused the English to push for that state of Israel and caused them to bring the Khazars there, 1948 or sometime around that time. So you need to study that yourself. Go and find out about those things. So find out about the Khazars. Read about the destruction of Jerusalem in 70 AD. Read about the destruction of Jerusalem when the Roman soldiers surrounded Jerusalem and people were just butchered, murdered. It was so bad that people were eating people alive because of the starvation. Some people escaped. Find out the Jews that escaped. Where did they go to? You need to find out those things. If you are a Christian, if you say you know God, if you love Yeshua, if you love the Father, you need to find out about those things. Because these are the people that God made promises to. When they escape, because not everybody died in that massacre when the Roman soldiers surrounded Jerusalem. Those that escaped, the Jews that escaped, where did they go to? Research and find out about that. Also, find out about there's an old African map. I think it was printed sometimes in the 1400s or 1400s thereabout. But there's an old African map that has a whole region called Negro Land. Negro, Negro, Negro Land, Land, Negro Land. Find out about Negro Land and the people who were living there. Okay? And then you will probably have a better understanding as to why black people are treated the way that they're treated. I just want to probe your mind before you enter a new year so that you have a different perspective on life. Because if you continue thinking about Christianity in the way that they taught you, that slave Christianity, you're not going to make progress in life. The other thing is, in closing, These same people that are from the synagogue of Satan, they are manipulating the whole world. Right now, people call black people the N-word. People call black people the N-word. They have names for all kinds of people. People berate black people. Depict black people badly in movies and in everything. And at the end of the day, anybody who says anything negative about Jews, they label them as anti-Semitic. Anti-Semitic, something like anti-Semitic. And once they call you anti-Semitic, it's almost like you are a hater, it's a crime. So it is okay for people to call everybody names and say everything bad about everybody, especially black people. But once you say something that a Jewish person does not approve of, they call it anti-Semitic, and you are branded as a bad person, a hater of mankind. Now, let me tell you something. One of the main set of people who have done great work to ensure that black people are denigrated and brought low in the world and thought of as nothing are Jews. Now look at the people who own the radio station, the television stations, the people who produce movies and direct movies and all of that. The people that own the movie studios, most of them are Jews. And over many years, over 40, 50 years, 60 years, these people who claim to be people of God have been using their movies to depict black people as the worst set of people on the face of the earth. And while they were doing that, these people would go to Africa, sleep at the best hotels, watch the best road, drive on the best roads, drive their Land Rovers for hours, go to the bush and take pictures of animals and tribal people. They would go to poor neighborhoods and take pictures of little girls and boys with flies in their face and hungry. And then they would make believe that this is what Africa is about, the whole of Africa. And all the time, the people that were doing that, directing these things, were Jews. Jews own this television station, these studios and all of that. So these Jews, some of them have been destroying black people's image in the world for a long time. But once you say anything about Jews, they call it anti-Semitic and they brand you and they make you look like a criminal. But the bad thing is Christianity is supporting these things because you have people like John Hagee. John Hagee is making Christians believe that they have to support these cases that they have in Israel. So John Hagee, what was John Hagee saying when the Jews were depicting black people in a bad way? These guys said nothing. But right now, they are there asking people to send the Jews and they're behaving as if they are ministers of government of Israel, where they should be preaching the gospel. So people like John Hagee are those that are supporting the fake Jews. So I want you to do these studies and then people will be better informed. I don't want to give you answers because when you take your time, you research and you give people answers and then at the end of the day they do not value it.